sort of.
Oh, lovely to speak to you as well. The question, 50 years, has it gone by in the blink of an eye?
I don't know, really, with our career. I think what we did to make that record, because we'd had a lot of success in 1973. So we were a huge band at the time, probably the biggest band in Europe and UK at that time. But we didn't realise what a spurn of an idea, which was basically our bass player's mother-in-law said, nobody writes Christmas songs. And so Nod and Jim got together, and one had got a chorus and one had got a verse, and they put it together, and then Nod wrote a lot of the lyrics, fantastic lyrics for that song. But we put it down in the heat of summer in New York, in a studio where John Lennon gave us some time to record. Wow. Because he cancelled something, and we used his harmonium on the record, which actually, if you listen to the record, that really gives it the atmosphere of cold weather and Christmas and trees and all the rest of it. We never realised what we'd actually created. We just thought it might be a fairly good hit. But 50 years on, I mean, it's 5 decades gone. I mean, do you know what? I mean, I played to an audience in Grimsby the other day, and they were all screaming at me. And they were about 18 years of age. And I thought, my God, I'm still valid.
But you know, it is the soundtrack to our Christmas. Every Christmas, obviously you know the song so much, but how do you feel when you hear it now, just on the radio, on TV, on adverts and things like that?
I was saying to one of the other people I was talking to, I said, I went up to a special needs at a college yesterday, and they filmed me, and it was fantastic. You just know that everybody there will know that song, and all the teachers were there, and all the bosses, they all come in to see me entertain, you see. And I thought, I'll just do it. I was doing it for my daughter, you see. She said, oh, Dad, you've got to come to the college. And it was really great, because it was like they got so excited when they were doing it. And I just think the thing about it, it's a heartwarming record with a great message, and the message is it's Christmas and we better have a good time. And we certainly need a good time right now, I think, with the way things are in our difficult year. I think the Christmas song lifted the nation in 1973 when we had strikes and things. And I think once again, and the cherry on the cake is that it continues to gather new people, because my grandkids are now 7 and 9. And they go up to Ecstasy, and when they talk to the device, can you play Grandad's Christmas song? And then they have to say, no, can you? Yeah, it's really so cute.
Do you know what I want to know, though? Like you said, obviously, it's amazing the story of how the song came about, and obviously John Lennon involved and the harmonica and all that. But how did you get a Christmas vibe going on in July in New York? Were you Christmassy at the time?
No, I'll tell you something quickly, because it is funny. It was a bit like we didn't feel like Christmas. We'd just come in, and we'd done the track and got all the backing track, and Nod did the main vocal. So we said, we've got to go in the foyer. And we're in a really tall office block, New York's like real tall buildings. And so, well, if you get in before 10 o'clock, he says, before the workers come, he says, the office workers, he said, we can do the backing vocals. So the three of us stood round a microphone and started to sing, so here it is. Anyway, it took ages. And then suddenly they're coming through the doors, piles of them. And one of the guys goes, oh, my God, he said, what the hell's this? There's some crazy people singing about Christmas. It's not Christmas. It's 100 degrees. And they go, who are you? As if we sort of landed from Mars or something, And we sort of looked around. We said, well, we're Slade. We're Slade. Who's Slade? Because they don't know us, So we're a group in England. We're making this Christmas record, but we got to do it now, you see. And I think they gave up then, scratched their heads and went, hey, get on with it. And they went up to their office.
Little did they know how big that song was going to be.
Indeed. Little did they know that, we never quite made it big there. I think if it happened in an office block in the UK, we'd probably get mobbed.
That's it. Maybe it was good though, so you had a bit of moment of normality, because over here,
Yes, that's right.
there is no way.
Normality.
Yeah, there was no way you would have been able to do that here. Yeah, you'd have not just your
No.
vocals, you'd have everyone around you, their vocals on the song as well.
We couldn't go anywhere in '73. It was a bit like, to stay in.
Can you remember the first time you realised you were really famous?
Do you know, that's a good question. Nobody's ever asked me that. I got such a kick out of that first number one, and I was living at my dad's house, and it was like, I've been on top of the pops and all that. And then, when you come in home, and then suddenly you see the curtain moving from the neighbours, and they're going, there he is. That little so-and-so, he's done quite well, hasn't he, in life? It was all a little bit like that, you said. So that was the start of it. But in '73, I don't know, the feeling that you're trying to be grounded on the floor, but you're not. And we're all over the place. We went to Australia with Quo. We did all sorts of stuff. And it was just like, you feel as if, I can't explain the feeling inside of me, but you worked all these years to get where you are, and suddenly you felt the road was long. Nothing was going to stop it. Because eventually it does die down. But at that time, it was just like you couldn't, phone going, we want you. It's a bit like now, actually. And it's nice. And it's just like you go home and, I mean, I know this is a crazy story, but I bought a house, and I didn't realise I bought a house next to 500 girls in Solihull. And I thought the place next door was a mansion. And when I moved in, the TV found out. They thought, what pop star buys a house to 500 girls? We'll be screaming at it. And they come and film me moving in, and all of them come out. And then the caretaker's trying to get them back in the school.
Wow.
And the headmaster says, you must not bother him.
Imagine.
Yeah, and it turned out quite funny because I could see smoke coming out of the bushes and somebody smoking.
What? Oh,
yeah,
I bet. Do you know that it must be incredible? And then obviously all these years later, people still want you just as much. You've been, you're on your tour at the minute. I hope you had a warm welcome when you came to the Northeast.
I always have a welcome in the Northeast.
I love that.
I mean, my sister married a Yorkshireman, and Chas Chandler came from Newcastle upon Tyne, and he was our producer and manager. So when I played there, he's no longer with us, but I did a tribute to him because Geordies love hearing about him because he was special. He was in the Animals, you see, and he managed Hendrix as well. But he was the guiding force to get us to write songs. And he loved my clothes, even the ridiculous ones I made, one called the Metal Nun. And there were all sorts of clothes because when he used to get design a new clothes or some idea, I used to hide in the toilet, in the dressing room on top of the pops. And Nod used to come like, no, reveal all, Mr. Hill. In other words, what you wearing? And I'd come out. And I made them laugh because it was like the Guitarist smash ad where, people lying on the blacks. and it was so funny because our bass player didn't approve. He says, you're not going to wear that on top of the pops. Chaz is going, I think it's great, Dave. He says, another number one, you see. And I looked at Nod and Jim. I said, you write them and I'll sell them.
Oh, I just love it. The wilder, the better. Do you know what? It's been an absolute joy to speak with you, Dave. And I could speak with you all day. And I just wish you the most wonderful Christmas. And thank you so much for everything, but particularly that song, because it is the soundtrack for all of our Christmases. And it's December when we hear you.
That's right. And I hope you have a nice Christmas to all your listeners and you. And I hope it's a better year next year when we can draw and sort our lives out in this situation we're all in.
Oh, definitely.
But I think, as the song says, look to the future. It's only just begun.